32-year veteran is named fire chief for the city of St. Louis. A local high school band heads to New York for the big Thanksgiving Day parade. And an Illinois mother sits in jail rather than let her child's grandmother visit. The news is next.
The way she was progressing, I doubt that she would have lived another week.
Tonight, a unique transplant operation here in St. Louis involving 2 living donors. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Our top story tonight. A 10-year-old girl from Israel is recovering tonight in St. Louis after an unusual double lung transplant. News Channel 5's Ruth Ezell joins us live from outside Children's Hospital with the story. Ruth?
Well, Karen and Dan, 10-year-old Lisa Ostrovsky is a cystic fibrosis patient. That is why she had to have the double lung transplant in order to live. One of the things that's unusual about this is that she received pieces of lungs from 2 people. One who was a relative, her mother, another from a total stranger. Her journey here is quite a story also. The chances of her getting a transplant in Israel were very slim. Her best chance of getting a transplant was right here in St. Louis. The problem was finding a second donor and getting the money. After so many doors had been closed on her family, her father, in desperation, went on the internet. This email from Lisa's father to Rabbi Kalman Paku started a sort of chain reaction.
When I found out that it was definitely true, I sent out the email to 10,000 people on the internet, and these 10,000 people sent it out to others.
Lisa's plight ended up on websites, and donations came in. People gave money, and some volunteered to be donors. Ron Johnson of Britain and Lisa's mother ended up as live donors, giving portions of their own lungs in a delicate exchange between Children's and Barnes Jewish Hospital.
2 complete operating rooms, 2 complete sets of personnel at Barnes Jewish Hospital to go simultaneous with our operating room facility here at St. Louis Children's Hospital. We generally start our operation sooner than they do on either one of the donors, and they try to stagger the donor operations so that as soon as we're ready to sew in the first lung, it arrives. But as soon as we finish sewing in the first lung, then the second one arrives. So there's a minimal amount of time that either lung is out of somebody's body before it's implanted.
Now, both the recipient and the donors are all resting comfortably, all in stable condition. However, Lisa will have to remain in the hospital for at least 2 weeks. Then she'll have to stay in St. Louis for at least 3 months for follow-up to make sure that the lungs are not rejected. That is the most crucial period for her. Reporting live from St. Louis, I'm Ruth Ezell. Karen and Dan.
Quite extraordinary. Thanks,
An amazing international connection here in St. Louis. Well, News Channel 5 has just learned that Wonder Bread and Hostess delivery truck drivers with Teamsters Local 688 are set to strike tomorrow morning in St. Louis. The strike vote came within the hour. The union represents 208 drivers who deliver Wonder Bread and Hostess products to local grocery stores and restaurants. The drivers have been working without a contract since March. We will have the very latest on this possible strike by Teamsters drivers tomorrow morning on Today in St. Louis.
An Illinois babysitter convicted in the drowning of a young girl will be allowed to move to New York. The Madison County State's attorney agreed to the move because 32-year-old Nancy Ash said she was being threatened. In May, Ash, who could not swim, took 8 children swimming in Piasaw Creek. 8-year-old Andrea Sweeney drowned. Ash pleaded guilty to child endangerment charges. She will now report to a parole officer in New York. An admitted racist will spend life in prison for murdering a Bosnian child who lived in St. Louis. David Martin today pleaded guilty to kidnapping 11-year-old Selma Duchanovich from her home last year, then killing her at Horseshoe Lake in Illinois. Martin also admitted molesting several other St. Louis girls. He says he assaulted them because they were either foreign-born or non-white. As part of the deal, prosecutors agreed not to seek the death penalty.
This is day 6 for a jailed Columbia, Illinois mother who would rather be locked up than let her daughter visit her grandmother.
The state has no business intervening into this case at all and deciding that my daughter should have visitation with this woman or not.
I don't get to see her, and that kind of makes me feel bad.
And under Illinois law, Ella Mehring has visitation rights as a grandmother. She petitioned the court after the death of her son in 1997. Julie Mehring now faces a contempt charge. She says she will challenge the state's grandparents' law. Well, Madison and St. Clair counties in Illinois are having a problem with money, funny money, that is. In the last 2 weeks, a wealth of counterfeit money has been in circulation. News Channel 5's Steve Jankowski is joining us with more. Steve?
Well, Dan, the U.S. Secret Service stresses that it gets seized counterfeit money almost every day. But the federal agency says that lately, computer-produced cash has been flooding the market. Nani Holland works at the Zephyr Quick Mart in downtown Alton. Thursday night, a customer came to her counter wanting change for a $100 bill. One look told her everything she needed to know.
It was fake. It even looked fake. I mean, it looked like purple and green where the colors had mixed in together. It was you could tell it was fake.
The alleged counterfeiter fled with a request that no one call police. But investigators working similar exchanges at other businesses in Alton stress it's not always easy to tell someone's trying to pass a bad buck.
We've bred a new breed of criminal activity. The gamut runs from highly organized professional counterfeiters to the novice individual who's just experimenting, and this experimentation comes with the use of the computer.
Fox stresses he's seen counterfeiters as young as 12 and as old as 70 who even produce fake $1 bills. You might expect someone to try to pass funny money at a busy store, but no one expected anyone to come to this counter at the Madison County Courthouse on Thursday and use a bogus $100 bill to pay a traffic fine. Crystal Hale of the clerk's office says balancing the books at the end of the day uncovered the bad bill, a mistake she says won't be repeated thanks to the stroke of a pen.
So we instituted that today, and hopefully we'll catch any that come through now.
This is my 20. Show me how this pen works. What do you have to do?
Just put a line on the bill. As long as it's a light color, then it's fine. And if it would have turned black, then it would have been suspect of a counterfeit.
Now on Friday, someone else tried to pay a traffic ticket at the Alton City Hall with a bogus $100 bill, but the clerk identified it immediately and the counterfeiter fled. Federal and local authorities say they do expect to make arrests in several of these cases. In the meantime, merchants we spoke with say they will take more time checking currency and use that special marker on all the bills, 20 and larger. So Karen, be careful out there with the cash you see.
Thanks. Well, the crash of a stolen car sent 5 innocent people to the hospital earlier this evening. It happened in North St. Louis at Taylor and Kennerly. Police say the stolen car driver ran a stop sign and crashed into another vehicle. Of the 5 people injured, 3 are children. Their injuries include broken bones. The driver of the stolen car and his passenger were not hurt. They are in custody. States are not doing enough to fight drunk driving. That tonight, according to MADD. In its annual report, Mothers Against Drunk Driving gave the nation a C+ overall for efforts to reduce alcohol-related deaths. Missouri received a B- and Illinois a B+. MADD grades states based on law enforcement, fatal accident trends, and prevention programs. An historic day in St. Louis as the city gets its first African-American fire chief.
And Deanne Lane had a chance to sit down with Chief Sherman George and his wife this evening. Deanne joins us now with more.
Well, Karen and Dan, as you know, there's been a lot of speculation and controversy since Neil Svitanix announced his retirement. But today, Mayor Clarence Harmon made it official. Hearty applause for the new leader. Meet 55-year-old St. Louis Fire Chief Sherman George.
Not only a great accomplishment for me, but you know, I've got to set an example for others to follow.
Chief George first joined the department in 1967. He has several priorities, including expanding communications within the department and EMS.
I want to fully integrate EMS into the fire service, and how I want to do that is to cross-train EMS and fire people, so that what we can do is we have 4 shifts on EMS now. We can reduce that to 3 shifts and put more units on the street, more at no additional cost.
When asked about a negative letter-writing campaign opposing George's appointment, he told me he's never treated anyone unfairly, and it's time to move on.
After the first letter, it bothered me, but after that, I just took it as that some people were doing some underhanded things, and I let it go. So I don't know how many letters, it doesn't matter. The end result is here.
And while the new chief may be modest as to why he was selected, his wife, Catherine, is sure.
A man of the people, and that says it all. He truly loves his job.
And Chief George will celebrate his 32nd anniversary with the fire department on December 17th, coming up.
We wish him well. Some tough challenges.
Yes.
Thanks. Well, first for Mid-America Airport near Mascoutah, Illinois tonight, the first civilian commercial flight took off from the airport. The jumbo jet carried more than 300 members of the O'Fallon, Illinois High School Marching Band. to New York, where they will perform in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. The new St. Clair County Airport is still looking for more airlines and more passengers.
Tonight, First Lady Hilary Clinton has answered the question, is she going to enter the New York Senate race?
So the answer is yes, I intend to run.
The surprise announcement came during a campaign appearance with some New York teachers. But this is not the formal declaration. That will come after the first of the year.
Well, this special commemorative book about the Pope's visit to St. Louis should be in area stores by Friday. The book is titled John Paul II Pastoral Visit to St. Louis. It arrived in St. Louis today. It contains about 150 pictures of John Paul's visit in January. The book is published by the Archdiocese with the assistance of Henning Communications. And the Archdiocese expects no profit from the book sales, but says any excess money would be used to pay any outstanding bills from the Pope's visit. And it does include, of course, the most famous picture that we all remember right there, Mark McGuire meeting the Pope.
Right.
It'll make a nice holiday gift, this coffee table book.
It's beautifully done. It's very elegant. Coming up, a new medical study says a hysterectomy may give women an added benefit. It may actually improve a woman's sex life. The story just ahead.
Plus, is a state law aimed at protecting the mentally ill from themselves and others working?
And I think that the McBride law needs to be looked at again to make sure that it really serves the purpose for which it was passed.
Tonight in Cover Story, we take a closer look at the McBride law and show you your rights when it comes to getting help for the mentally ill.
I'm Mike Bush. Are the Cardinals closer to a closer? That story's coming up in sports. Cindy?
Yeah, and you know tomorrow is a huge travel day.
Yes, I was aware of that.
And the weather plays a big part in that, of course. I'll have the outlook for your travel plans. And those of you staying right here in St. Louis, I'll have that too.
You mean like me?
Yeah, me too.
For friendly advice and great savings on your DirecTV system, stop by Circuit City today. When you get a DirecTV system and subscribe to Total Choice Programming, you'll get 2 free months of 32 premium movie channels and 25 specialty sports networks, a value of over $100. Plus, get a free self-install kit, a $50 value, or professional installation for only $99 with your DirecTV system. Save on DirecTV today at Circuit City.
Those must have been some cookies you left Santa.
I didn't leave them cookies, I left them cheese.
Behold the power of cheese.
Later on an all-new Tonight Show, movie megastar Tom Hanks with the strangest interview ever.
I feel really good about the work that I've done on Toy Story 2. Is that right? Now, somebody told me.
Plus, John Glenn, Puff Daddy, and kids on Thanksgiving.
I don't know, I'm just a kid.
And on Conan, Max is back. All new tonight.
Take a good look at Dodge Durango. You'll find it has the most available towing of any vehicle in its class, the most cargo room of any vehicle in its class, and it's the only one in its class that offers 8 passenger seating. So while Durango is out doing everything, it's also outdoing everything. Dodge Durango, different.
In medical news tonight, it may surprise you to hear, but a new study says a hysterectomy usually does not ruin a woman's sex life. In fact, researchers say it can often improve it significantly.
And most of the 1,100 women in the study said they had sex more often and had less pain after undergoing the procedure for non-cancerous conditions. The findings could help calm one of the biggest fears of women who are facing hysterectomies. Asthma patients may soon have a new option for treatment. Today, an advisory panel recommended FDA approval for Advair. The new asthma inhaler combines 2 existing asthma drugs into one inhaler device. One drug helps keep the airways open. The other fights inflammation. The drug maker, GlaxoSmithKline, estimates that 12% of asthma sufferers currently take both medicines.
Oh, we were hoping to have some rain for the lawns and gardens, and then we were hoping for no rain for the parade, and it looks like you have come through, Cindy.
Everything worked out perfectly, didn't it? Yeah, that rain that we picked up today, about 7/10 of an inch here in St. Louis, and wasn't it great? So let's get to it. Lots of graphics to go through. And yes, even the trees and the grass have greened up a little bit today, but it is still dry across much of the bi-state. As a matter of fact, we are in a severe drought situation, at least according to the National Drought Mitigation Center, anywhere from central and southeastern Missouri across southern Illinois and back into Indiana. Very, very dry conditions, and that's exactly where we've had problems with all the wildfires and so forth. So this little bit of rain really isn't going to help out a whole lot. We could have used about 3 or 4 inches, and we got about an inch, 1.65 inches in the Springfield, Missouri area, which was the highest precipitation for the entire country today. So that was some nice news. That rain is now pulled off into Indiana and Kentucky. We've got strong westerly winds, 16 to 25 mile per hour winds right now in St. Louis. Kansas City about 7 mile per hour winds, but they have a wind chill factor there because their temperatures have dipped down to the 30s. And if you look to the north, we're still looking at some snow in the UP of Michigan. Minneapolis picked up some nice snow. Actually, they're happy about it up there. And that is all winding around a center of low pressure, and that will be making its way on into Canada and eventually the eastern side of the country, which if you're going to be traveling tomorrow, big travel day, this is going to be the problem area. Lots of fog in the mid-Atlantic area. If you're flying into Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, New York, look out for some delays there, plus the rain. We're going to be clear across much of the country. Pacific Northwest is also going to see some showers there. So back into our area. 46 degrees at this time. We still have mostly cloudy skies. 41 in the windy city of Chicago, and Kansas City dipped down now to 34 degrees. Take a look at our current conditions and a gorgeous time lapse this afternoon from Skycam with the rain moving in. 46 degrees, 73% humidity. Winds out of the west up to 25 miles per hour. Pressure is rising, 30.18. High pressure is nosing in. High today was 68 degrees before the front came through, picked up 7/10 of an inch, but we are still below average for this time of the year. And here's your forecast tomorrow morning. We should have mostly sunny skies, cooler air in place. Winds will be out of the northwest. Certainly no precipitation in our forecast now for the next few days. High pressure scoots to the east. We'll get the return flow, a little bit warmer temperatures again by Thursday. Tomorrow's high should be right around 50 degrees, but it'll probably feel a little bit cooler than that due to that northwesterly flow. Overnight tonight, clearing skies. Ooh, lows dipping down to 36 degrees. 50 for that high tomorrow under mostly sunny skies, and our extended forecast should give us a nice dry Thanksgiving day. But like we said, you want to bundle up. These temperatures are going to be a little bit chilly in the morning hours, but no rain to bother the big balloons.
Okay.
Just fine. Good. Thanks,
Great.
Cindy.
Thanks, Cindy. Well, what would you do? Where would you turn if a family member had mental illness so severe that you felt threatened?
You might use what's called the McBride Law and force that person to get help. That Missouri state law is named for James and Nancy McBride of Glendale, who were murdered by their son, who has schizophrenia. Tonight in Cover Story, Part 2 of Art Holliday's special report on families torn apart by mental illness.
My opinion of him is he is dangerous.
Those are the words of Max Parmalee's uncle, Bobby Joe Wagner. Jefferson County authorities say Max Parmalee, a man with mental illness, attacked and killed both of his parents last month in their DeSoto home. Jefferson County prosecuting attorney Bob Wilkins says the fatal attacks could have been prevented by a law that is little known and often misunderstood.
The McBride Law would have worked, could have worked had they known about it, but the mental health providers that I've talked to say that they don't have the right at this point to be able to tell the family of the existence of the law, which seems ludicrous to me.
Well, that's a misconception because the issue of patient confidentiality is covered by the McBride Law. If a patient poses a danger to himself or others, according to the statute, the patient's doctor can inform the family of the patient's mental state as well as options like the McBride Law, even without the patient's consent. That means Max Parmalee's family could have forced him to get help. But the Parmalee family didn't know about the McBride Law, which is one of the biggest problems. Many people don't know the law exists, don't know what to do or who to talk to.
Following the tragic deaths of James and Nancy McBride at the hands of their son Matthew, I appointed the McBride Commission.
The 1994 McBride killings and efforts by Mark McBride to raise public awareness of mental health issues prompted Governor Mel Carnahan to appoint a 19-member commission of mental health experts. The McBride Commission suggested changes in Missouri's involuntary commitment laws. The governor signed the new law in 1996. The intent of the McBride Law is early intervention, getting help for people with mental illness like Matthew McBride before they hurt themselves or others. Critics say portions of the law need to be changed again to meet that goal.
And I think that the McBride law needs to be looked at again to make sure that it really serves the purpose for which it was passed.
Is this law serving the purpose that you intended, that the commission intended?
I don't think so at the present time.
Dr. Lori DeRosier is medical director of the St. Louis Psychiatric Rehabilitation Center. She chaired the McBride Commission. DeRosier says there is another misconception about involuntary commitment in Missouri. The misconception is that imminent physical danger is required before commitment proceedings can begin.
I think people feel they have to wait until they see someone hitting someone else or hurting someone else or have a gun to their own head.
Dr. DeRosier says because of the McBride law, judges are now allowed to evaluate historical patterns of behavior by a mentally ill person. Those behavior patterns include failure to take antipsychotic medication, threats, suicide attempts, or the inability to take care of oneself. Using the above criteria, the court can order either inpatient commitment or involuntary outpatient treatment. Critics say the Missouri requirements for involuntary outpatient treatment should be changed so that mentally ill people can get help sooner rather than later. The way the law is written now, a person being considered for outpatient treatment has to be so mentally ill they would qualify for inpatient commitment. That's like withholding treatment from a heart patient until the heart attack occurs. The Treatment Advocacy Center in Virginia follows involuntary commitment issues nationwide. That organization says the reason there have been only 3 involuntary outpatient commitments in Missouri in the past year is because the law is, quote, inherently contradictory and basically unworkable. Mark McBride says it's not just laws that need to be changed. He'd also like to see a change in public awareness about mental illness.
We may not cure it, but we can certainly solve a lot of the problems that are associated with it. We can also muster up the ability to help the family members who have to deal with it and the professional people that have to deal with it.
Meanwhile, Mark's brother Matt remains confined to the Fulton State Hospital, living with schizophrenia and the knowledge that brain disease made him kill his parents. Matt offers this advice to others with severe mental illness.
You've got to take your medication. You've got to take it. And you got to listen to your doctors. You got to listen to your parents. You got to listen to your family, people who care for you. Because that's all you got. If you ain't got that, then nobody's going to help you.
I'm Art Holliday, News Channel 5 cover story.
One mental health advocacy group, Mad Nation, believes that court-ordered commitment does little to improve public safety. Among Mad Nation's concerns, a lack of funding for mental health services, and there's no way to predict dangerous behavior by people with mental illness. Here are 3 phone numbers for more mental health information. Mental health coordinators at 877-0330. Behavioral Health Response at 469-6644, or the National Alliance for the Mentally Ill of St. Louis, and they can be reached at 966-4670.
Well, here in the offseason for baseball, the Cardinals continue to concentrate on building up that bullpen. Let's hope they get another one.
Yeah, well, I think the Cardinals will sign another free agent pitcher at some point this offseason. I just don't think it's going to be this guy. The agent for free agent reliever Mike Jackson tells News Channel 5 Sports that he is hoping to resume talks with the Cardinals sometime this week, but it is looking less likely that Jackson will wind up in St. Louis. Jackson had 39 saves for the Indians last year and the 3rd highest save percentage in the American League. The Cardinals, who had trouble closing out games, reportedly offered Jackson a 3-year contract for $12 million, but Jackson apparently wants about $15 million. Cardinals brought Jackson to town last week to talk contract and to have him take a physical, and that's when negotiations hit a snag. The physical apparently revealed some kind of problem. His agent, Arthur Rosenberg, would not comment on that today. Cardinals did sign a free agent reliever today. They are bringing back right-hander Heathcliff Slocum. Slocum was 3-2 last season with a 3.77 earned run average and 2 saves. And for that, he gets a 2-year deal for $3.4 million. But third base coach Renee Latchman is leaving the Cardinals for the Cubs, where he will be the bench coach for new manager Don Baylor. The Rams have been installed as 14-point favorites for this Sunday's game against the New Orleans Saints. The game is set for noon Sunday at the Dome. Former Ram Lawrence Phillips is now a former 49er. The 49ers waived the troubled running back today while he was still serving a 3-game suspension for defying the coaching staff. Phillips has filed a grievance through the NFL Players Association because he thought the original suspension was excessive. Several Oakland Raiders want an apology from the Denver Broncos organization. Raiders offensive tackle Lincoln Kennedy was hit in the face with a snowball after last night's game in Denver. Other Raiders were pelted with snowballs, some apparently spiked with batteries as they came off the field. All in all, 3 fans arrested, an arrest warrant for a Raider player, and Raiders coach John Gruden expects a league investigation.
I think it should be reviewed carefully by the league, and I certainly think that security maybe on snow games maybe needs to be beefed up. Maybe that's a thought.
The NFL is banning the throat-slashing gesture that has become popular around the league. Any player using it can be penalized for unsportsmanlike conduct or fined. A night off for the Blues. They're in Detroit tomorrow night when they battle the Red Wings for first place in the Central. In the NHL tonight, Avalanche hosting the Kings. Jeff Odgers trying to give Steve McKenna an up-close view of the bench. But Odgers' effort came with a price. Hockey is a rough game. Late second period, and it's Blake to Blake on the give and go. Rob to Jason for the shot and a goal. 5-2 Kings, and now in the third, it is 5-2 Los Angeles. You know, sometimes you see some of these hockey fights and you wonder, why don't the officials get in there and stop it? This is one of those times. The Central Hockey League has suspended 5 players after a huge brawl last weekend between the Topeka Scarecrows and the Wichita Thunder. Where are the officials? 4 of the 5 players suspended were from the Thunder in a brawl that lasted more than 10 minutes. College basketball tonight at Umsel, where the Rivermen opened the Mark Burnson era with an opening night win over Harris Stowe. Off the missed shot, Terrence Herbert working the boards, tipping it 4 times for the bucket. Second half, Rivermen on the run, and Herbert is there to clean up the miss. 15 rebounds and 15 points for Herbert as Umsel wins it tonight. Final 76-62, and that's a look at sports.
Man, where are those officials?
Where
those
are
fights
they?
Begin like that.
That
They
was
get out of
ugly,
hand.
wasn't it?
They were outnumbered there.
Wow. Thanks, Mike.
Coming up, Chief Meteorologist Cindy Preszler will give us tonight's last look at our Thanksgiving forecast.
Plus, you'll hear just how divine the divine Miss M sounded tonight at Kiel.
You make me feel.
Don't miss Kohl's after Thanksgiving sale. Get there Friday at 6 a.m. for early bird specials till 11 a.m. Save 50% on all Barbie dolls and accessories. All cashmere sweaters are just $35.99. Save 50% on all candles and save an extra 20% on all 14-karat gold chains and bracelets, already 60% off. Plus, save on other great early bird specials store-wide. Then keep shopping for more great savings during Kohl's after Thanksgiving sale this Friday and Saturday only.
Hi, George Weber, inviting you to take advantage of Weber Chevrolet's year-end event. As the largest network of Chevy dealers in the Midwest, we are the place to buy your car or truck. We have the absolute best selection of vehicles with over 450 2000 full-size pickups and almost 300 2000 S10s to choose from. Cars? How about new 2000 Cavaliers starting at $195 a month with no money down? Make your money count at the Weber Chevrolet year-end event in Granite City, Columbia, Illinois, and Creve Coeur. Come see why we're the #1 network of Chevy dealers in the Midwest.
The tough guy in 3E.
You ain't gonna be a woman. You're never gonna be a woman.
The queen in 4B. And the trouble that brought them together.
Just give me my money.
Hold it. Critics call Flawless one of the year's hottest surprises. Fresh, hilarious, and heartbreaking. Joel Schumacher's best film yet. Philip Seymour Hoffman and Robert De Niro give Oscar-worthy performances.
I don't like the term drag queen. I'm an artist, you know?
Flawless, rated R. Starts Wednesday at theaters everywhere.
They say they want to look as young as they feel, and millions are making it happen. Cosmetic surgery. It's not just for the rich anymore. Technology's making it easier than ever, and now many are looking to the future with a new look. Taking a preventive strike against aging. Cover story tomorrow at 10 on News Channel 5. People you know.
In all fair St. Louis,
News you trust.
the unemployment rate in St. Charles.
News Channel 5, where the news comes first.
So, what'd you get? Peanut butter and jelly? How about you? Bologna. What'd you get? Turkey?
With Shop and Save's low prices, you can bring home a whole lot more. Shop and Save. Save more, get more. this week at Shop and Save. Assorted Folgers coffee, $4.89 each, and half-gallon Prairie Farms Old Recipe Premium Ice Cream, 2 for $4.95.
I listen to KTRS 24 hours a day. It's like a sick addiction.
Why is St. Louis switching to KTRS?
KTRS gets me very fired up.
That's why I call a radio station. I want to be able to get through and I want to be heard.
If I get wrapped up in what these guys are having to say, I know the other drivers think I'm nuts because I'm going to scream at them.
Sitting in my car and I'm laughing hysterically and hoping, oh my God, who's looking at me?
Make the switch. The Big 550 KTRS.
It's the only game in town.
Even with its impressive power, remarkable handling, and legendary capability, Jeep Grand Cherokee can still be leased for just $359 a month. Maybe that's why everyone's going out of their way to get a look at it. The $359 a month Grand Cherokee lease. Check one out at your Jeep dealer.
We needed our umbrellas this morning. Or today? Can we put them away now, Cindy?
Yeah, you can put them away now for a while. I don't even think you're going to need a real thick jacket either, because temperatures are going to be fairly nice. This is seasonal stuff, and if you're leaving tomorrow early on your Thanksgiving holiday, no problems traveling in the central part of the country. That does include St. Louis. We've got dry weather.
Good for us.
It'll be a busy travel day. Well, that is News Channel 5 at 10 o'clock. Remember to start your day with Today in St. Louis beginning at 5 tomorrow morning.
And we'll leave you now with Bette Midler, the Divine Miss M, performing at Kohl Center this evening.
How do you do?